A few months back, my cat swallowed something she absolutely shouldn't have. One minute she was curled up on the windowsill, the next she was being rushed to the emergency vet, and I was staring down a bill that could have covered my rent. I remember standing at the counter holding the invoice thinking there is no way this is sustainable. That's what finally pushed me to look into pet insurance. I'd always assumed it would be overly complicated, full of fine print, and probably not worth the hassle. But after digging around, I started to realize that pet insurance isn't one size fits all. The policies, the pricing, the coverage, it's all over the place. One name that kept popping up was MetLife. I knew them for life insurance, but pet insurance? That was new. Still, this seemed promising, so I signed up to see what they actually deliver, and whether it's something I'd recommend. At its core, MetLife helps you manage the financial side of vet care. That includes accidents, injuries, surgeries, illnesses, and prescriptions. Pretty much all the big stuff you'd hope never happens. But what stood out to me was how much they covered beyond that. Their standard plan includes chronic conditions like diabetes or arthritis, hereditary issues, dental disease, and diagnostic testing like x-rays, blood panels, and ultrasounds. So when my vet mentioned that Lulu might need a dental care down the line, I didn't have to panic about whether it was technically included, it just was. And then there's the alternative care side. If your vet recommends acupuncture, hydrotherapy, or even CBD support, MetLife is one of the few that doesn't automatically reject those. As long as it's vet approved, it's actually covered. What I liked is that I wasn't unlocking coverage one checkbox at a time. Most of what I wanted in a policy was already baked in. Now, like most providers, MetLife works on a reimbursement model. You pay the bill up front, submit your claim, and then wait for the money to come back to you. That's pretty standard in the pet insurance world, but it does mean you'll need some cushion available, especially for emergencies. When I submitted a claim for a recent vet visit, basic exam and lab work, I filled out the form online, uploaded the invoice, and waited. It wasn't lightning fast, but about 5 business days later, the money showed up in my account. I wasn't stuck on hold trying to convince someone my cat's life matters. Could the process be a little quicker? Sure. But it worked. Also, just so you know, my plan came with a $2,000 annual coverage gap. That might be plenty for most years, but if you're in a city with either high vet costs or your pet has a chronic issue, you can raise that limit, but naturally, it will cost more. Still, the overall experience is way easier than I'd expect. I wasn't squinting at the fine print, wondering what I'd missed. The terms were clear and there wasn't any surprise exclusion that I hadn't seen coming. After entering some info about my cat Lulu, a 2-year-old domestic shorthair, I was offered what MetLife calls their balance plan. The quote came to around $14 a month. That plan had a $250 deductible, an 80% reimburse rate, and that $2,000 yearly coverage limit I mentioned earlier. So to play it out, if Lulu had a $1,000 vet bill, I'd pay the first $250, then MetLife covers 80% of the rest. I'd end up paying about $450 out of pocket, which feels fair for how much was covered. Depending on your pet's age, breed, and where you live, your quote might look different. MetLife plans start at around $12 a month for cats and $26 a month for dogs, which puts them among the more affordable providers, especially if you're not going for the ultra premium tier. It's not bare bones, but it doesn't break the bank either. And quick heads up, if MetLife sounds like a fit, check the link in the description because we can usually get you exclusive deals that you wouldn't find on their main site. Now, one of the biggest positives with MetLife is that they don't raise your rates just because you actually use the insurance. Some companies will bump your premium even if your claim is totally valid. MetLife doesn't play that game. I could actually feel comfortable using the coverage when I needed it. Their wellness add-on is also worth a look. I added it to Lulu's plan to help cover routine stuff like vaccines, heartworm tests, and flea preventatives. It wasn't outrageously priced, and it meant I wasn't second-guessing every vet visit just to avoid an out-of-pocket hit. Now, for the downsides, the claims process could definitely be faster. Mine took about a week, which isn't terrible, but it's not as fast as some providers that automate more of their back end. And their customer support is fine, not bad, just a little generic. You might not get the most detailed updates or hand-holding, but they do eventually follow through. But here's what really won me over. MetLife doesn't make you wait. The accident coverage kicks in immediately. The day you sign up, you're covered. That's rare. Health Pause, for example, makes you wait 15 days. Even Paw Protect's 2 days is 2 days too many. Emergencies don't schedule themselves, and I like knowing that if, God forbid, something happened tomorrow, I wouldn't be left hanging. They also give you plenty of ways to tweak the plan without feeling like you're solving a math puzzle. You can lower your deductible to $50, raise your reimbursement rate up to 90%, and tweak the annual coverage limit. The site makes it easy to see how each change affects your monthly price. Compared to something like Healthy Paws, which offers unlimited annual coverage but no wellness plan, MetLife feels more balanced. Paw Protect includes wellness, but they're a bit more limited when it comes to alternative care or policy flexibility. And while companies like ASPCA or Embrace advertise customization, they often bury it under fees or wonky terms that aren't super transparent. MetLife just felt easier to set up and easier to trust. If you need unlimited coverage or super fast reimbursements, there are other providers that specialize in that. But if you want something straightforward, flexible, and actually usable, MetLife hits that sweet spot. It's customizable without being confusing. The coverage is generous without being buried in upgrades. And most importantly, it actually kicks in when you need it to. If you're tired of playing vet bill roulette every time your pet sneezes weird or eats something they shouldn't, this is a good option to have in your corner. It's not the fanciest platform out there, but it's practical, and that's what I needed. If you're trying MetLife or any other pet insurance, drop a comment below and let me know how it goes. I love hearing what worked or didn't for other pet owners. And if you're curious about trying MetLife for yourself, check out that link in the description. Most of the products we talk about will have special deals that you won't find on their regular site. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.